Hey, 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 welcome back to Mommy Reboot TV. I'm your host, Jody Agard. Okay, so usually I talk about tips, right? Self-care tips, and I give you ideas and solutions and little life hacks of how to implement self-care into your busy, crazy mommy life. Not today. Today, I am going to give you 6 things to stop. Because stopping certain things is just as important as doing certain things for your self-care routine. And when we think about self-care, it has to do with your mind, body, and your soul. And that goes along with stopping certain things for your mind, body, and your soul. Because that's what true self-care is. So I want to give you 6 really awesome things to stop. You ready? I got my little list over here so I don't forget. 1 is stop waiting to be happy. That's a really big one I see, especially in my coaching practice. So as moms, we tend to say things like, when little Johnny goes to school, I can start focusing on myself. Or when little Becky goes to college, I can start focusing on myself. Right now, it's all about the kids. It's all about my husband. My husband's not feeling well. Fill in the blank. We're moving, and after the move, then I can start doing self-care. Then I can start exercising. Then I can start going to hang out with my girlfriends. Then I can start going to yoga class. Nope. Basically, what you do is you end up putting yourself in a holding pattern, and it's no different than an airplane getting ready to take off. How we're just in that line, kind of waiting to take off, and there's no sense of waiting. There's always going to be something there in your life to hold you back, and so don't wait to be happy. Stop waiting to be happy. Do the things that will make you happy now. Number 2, stop trying to be Insta perfect. So as moms, we tend to compare ourselves, and we tend to look at this one picture of this one person, and then we compare ourselves and we say, oh, I'm falling short, or oh God, their house is so neat and perfect and it's so huge and they have a swimming pool and I don't have a swimming pool, and they're not letting their kids have screen time and I am, and blah, 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 blah. Stop trying to be Insta perfect. It's okay to be an imperfect mommy. We're all imperfect mommies. We all mess up, and that's just the way it is. Number 3, stop living to please others. So if you are finding yourself that you often put everybody else in front of your own happiness, then that's a problem. Stop doing that. And that's something that I see so much amongst us moms. And here's how it shows up. We're exhausted, but we cook anyway because maybe our family expects us to cook, or they really like, this particular meal and they all asked for it. And so we cook even though we're exhausted instead of ordering pizza or whatever the case is. Or we are super overwhelmed, but then we say yes to that friend because we don't want to disappoint our friend. That is you actually putting other people's happiness in front of your own. And so stop pleasing others. Yes, we want to be a caring, loving, awesome mommy, wife / partner / all the things, but we can't do that unless we actually put our own needs in front of somebody else's sometimes. Number 4, stop dwelling on mistakes. So again, it goes back to what I just said a few minutes ago, is that it's okay that you're imperfect. I think part of motherhood is just we're all figuring it out. And so there's plenty of things looking back when I first became a mom that I didn't do with my second child because I learned from my mistakes, and I'm going to continue to do that. And you have to just allow yourself to be the imperfect mom and to forgive yourself for the mistakes. If you fed your kid really crappy in the beginning, who cares? Forgive yourself. Forgive yourself because now you know better. And like Oprah says, when you know better, you do better. So whatever those mistakes are that you have, let them go and keep your eyes forward. Number 5, stop worrying about the future. So this is a biggie amongst us moms. We tend to think about the future, and often we tend to paint the worst case scenario. So maybe our husband's late or our partner's late coming home from work, and what do? We play this this horrific scene in our mind that maybe they got into a car accident or whatever the case is, or maybe our kid has been sick for a few days and had a high fever or whatever, and now we convince ourselves that there's some serious condition going on. It happens all the time, but you have to be aware when you are really starting to worry about the future, and then try to stay in the present moment. Try to just stay on this one day, in this one season of your life, and not worry about the big picture so much. And number 6, stop blowing yourself off. This is a huge one amongst us moms. We tend to put everybody else's needs in front of our own, and that gets us into trouble. And we, if you think about the times that you're really, really busy and there's a lot of things going on, maybe it's back to school, maybe it's, you're moving, or there's a job opportunity, or your husband is working a lot and traveling a lot. What's the first thing that we often do? We often skip out on sleep. We might stop exercising. We might stop eating healthy. We might stop hanging out with friends because we're quote unquote too busy, and it's the first thing to go. And so we tend to just blow ourselves off. And it's you have to kind of look at yourself as a nagging little toddler. What happens when you ignore a little toddler who's going, mommy, 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 mommy? They get louder, right? And that's what will happen to yourself if you continue to blow yourself off. That voice will show up, start to speak louder and louder and louder, and it might show up in the form of ill health. It might show up in the form of being burnt out. It can show up in so many different ways. So really try to just pay attention of just not blowing yourself off. And don't forget that every second counts. And so if you only have 5 minutes of self-care a day because you've got 3 or 4 or 5 kids and a husband who's traveling, then that's enough. The whole point is to make sure that you're intentionally showing up for yourself every single day in small, small, tiny ways. All right, that's all I got for today. I hope you enjoyed this. And of course, as always, if you thought about that mommy friend who could really hear this message, please send it to her. Send her the link. Send her my YouTube video. Send her my Instagram page, which is @mommyreboot. And just share the love. And then if you're also not a part of the Mommy Reboot Facebook group yet, make sure you jump over there because I love that group. It's our own little awesome mommies from around the world just learning about self-care and connecting and supporting each other, and we would love to have you. All right, Mama, have a wonderful day, and go ahead and just stop doing those 6 things. Mwah!